Hello from Snooker Tips. Obviously you can see that what I'm doing here is just potting these balls. Nice and easy to pot, but a lot of you guys have messaged in and you're asking me the same questions. How can I pot the balls so quickly and fast? And all you're doing really is you're trying to pot the ball with the least amount of effort possible. So the more action you put through this cue ball, the more chance you're going to miss the pot. So try and keep your cue as level to the table as possible and try and play through the ball, but you must accelerate through the cue ball. The tip mustn't stop here in the centre of the cue ball. It must always accelerate, so it's always going fastest when it goes through the cue ball. So as an example, if I'm just going to pot that pink, I should be playing in red really, but we won't worry about that. Just move the camera over just slightly so you can see where I'm cueing. Let me just bring the camera back to here. Now I'm standing behind the line of the shot, and I can see that it's just slightly, well, it's a thick 3/4 ball, and quite simply what I'm doing is I'm lining the shot up before I even put my bridge on the table. Alright, all your aiming and sighting is done when you're stood up here. Okay? And the reason for that is because it's easier to see the line of the shot. And when you step into the shot, being as I'm playing right-handed at the moment, what I'm doing is I'm putting my right foot, my straight leg, if you like, on the line of aim. It doesn't matter whether I'm putting side on the ball or not, I always plant my foot on the line of aim. If you don't do that, you can't really be expected to pot the ball, can you? And also what I'm doing, when I'm looking at these balls, let's say as an example I'm trying to pot the pink, as I just explained earlier, the line of the shot is still the line of the shot. It makes no difference that I look at it before I get to the table, except it speeds my game up, and that's where your natural rhythm comes into it. And so I've already lined the shot up, I'm standing on the line of aim already, my bridge hand then goes down on the line of aim, and I pot the ball. All I'm doing is pulling the cue back, and then pushing it forwards again. So there's the very similar shot again. And basically what I'm doing is I'm looking from back here. Let me do it like this. I'll pop my cue down on the floor, which I shouldn't really be doing, but there's my cue on the floor. So that's the line of aim, straight across the table, onto the cloth, and there's the line down through the ball. If you're not doing that, then you're not giving yourself a fair crack. You really aren't. So when I put my hands on the table, obviously I can put my hand closer, but it changes my cue action. It makes it too short for me. So I have to be at least a foot away from the ball. So my bridge hand finishes a foot away from the ball, but when my cue comes back, my tip comes all the way back to almost to my thumb. And although sometimes I inconsistently cue, deliberately, I shorten my action to here. That's what I've done is I've shortened the butt up. So I've shortened my grip. So instead of holding it where I normally hold it, which is about 2 inches out from the end, I've actually moved it all the way up to there, where the first splice is, if you like. It makes no difference really how long your cue is, as long as your action isn't too compressed. If you shorten yourself up too much, then it can be a real problem. But try and be consistent every time you step into the ball. So when I step in, I'm already on the line of the shot. I can change that by moving my feet, but there's no need to do that, because if I plant my right foot, playing right-handed, plant my right foot on the line of aim, then I know I'm in line with the shot. If for some reason I address the table and I'm offline, say the side of the table could be in the way when I address the table. If that's the case, then all I do is step up off the shot and realign myself again a second time. There's no point in forcing a bad position. If you're in a bad position when you're playing the shot, you're forcing things out of line, and that's something you don't want to do. So the whole time you're doing this, what you're looking for every time you play the shot is consistency. So you must always put your bridge the same distance away from the ball, if you can. You know, not all shots are allowing you to do that. Example, if you're close to the cushion, obviously you can't really cue from there. It's just too close. So I tend to come off the back end of the cushion. So I actually bridge from back here to get a better purchase on the ball, and also I can get my cue almost level with the table when I play through the ball. Like so. So Everyone's different, everyone's got good points and bad points, but try and make everything as simple as you can. And sight the ball before you put your hand on the table. That's the key. Key to all of this. You can practice until you're blue in the face, but if you're practicing bad technique, you're always going to have bad technique. And when it comes to a pressure situation, your natural technique will always take over. So I instantly look through the cue ball like it's not even there, like I'm going to aim my tip at the point of contact on the pink. Every time you look at these balls, you must instantly know where the line of aim is. It takes a little while to see it, but if I put you here, like that, when my tip goes to the cue ball, I'm already looking at the pink. So I pause on the front and I pause on the backspin. But the difference between my game and a lot of other people's games is I've got quite a long swing. Okay, my backswing is quite long because I've got incredibly long arms. But sometimes I change my methods. If I'm really close in, say putting that red into the middle pocket, that's really very close, and obviously it's offline with the pocket. It's also very difficult to cue because you're so close to the ball. But when you're that close to an object ball, it's really difficult to play. It doesn't look very close, but trust me, it really is, as you can see from there. And if you know the line of the shot when you step into it, the line of the shot obviously hasn't changed. I put the ball there, like so. You can see the angle of that shot, and you can see it probably easier when you're further away from it, so it's easier to pot. So as it becomes closer, it becomes harder to judge the angle. Okay, and you have to focus on the two balls almost simultaneously. That's difficult to do. So, and the simple way I found of doing it is to make sure I've sighted the ball before I even, well, actually during my address of the table. And I'm always looking at the red ball that I'm potting. I'm not looking at the cue ball when my cue actually makes contact here. When my tip makes contact with the cue ball, I am actually looking at the red ball. I've used various different analogies, but quite simply, when you're cueing at the table, you've already sighted that ball up. You should have already sighted that ball to that pocket before you even put your hand at the table. If you haven't done that, then you can't really be expecting to pot the ball. And all I do is just forwards pause, back pause, push through the cue, and the ball will find its way to the pocket. Not because I'm cueing particularly well, or for any other reason, other than the fact that I can see the line of the shot, and if I put the cue through straight, it will go through straight. A lot of you guys have messaged in and asked if I could make this simpler in an explanation. It really is a case of you have to learn to walk before you can run, and this is what sighting is all about. If you're struggling with your sighting at all, so chances are your feet are in the wrong position before you start. As I said before, you must be standing on the line of aim, so if you want to pot that pink to the corner as an example, you must be standing in line with it. I know it's very difficult with my camera like this, but if I drop that right down, you can see the pink isn't quite covering up the full ball. It's thick 3/4 ball. If I move that cue ball, my cue, just like so, that is now a full ball contact on the pink to the corner pocket. But a simple way of showing you this, we could go like that. Okay? Now you can see that the red isn't quite covering up the whole pink, but there it is. But really, it's a game of simple shots. It is a game of simple shots. And these simple shots are just strung together to make a break. But what takes over at the end of the day is you, okay? It's how you perceive the shot. If you're putting that pink to the corner pocket, then you don't really have to do a lot of work with the cue ball. There's always reds on, and you simply just put your hand on the table, but you're already stepped in line to the shot, okay? If you can't step in line with the shot, say you're playing from a blue spot as an example, if you were trying to play that blue to the corner pocket, just move that red out the way, then you can start to see the difference on the shots. As you can see, that would then be a full ball contact, because the whole of the cue ball is covering up that blue ball. Okay? If I move it slightly to the left, you can now see that is a thick 3/4 ball contact. Move it to there, that is now a half ball contact to the corner pocket. Okay? Because half of the blue ball is covered up. Okay? when you envisage this cue ball actually making contact there, okay? Do you see what I mean? And this is how you start to get to learn angles off the balls as well. So if you were putting that ball to the middle pocket, putting the blue to the centre pocket there, that's a half ball blue, okay? Just know this from experience, you have to trust me on this. So that means that half of that ball would be covered up by the cue ball. We get another cue ball. So obviously from now, half of that ball is covering up. So if half of that ball is covering up, you know that is a half ball blue. And a lot of you can't figure out where the cue ball is going to go after you've potted that blue into the middle pocket. So after that ball has actually gone in that pocket, where's that ball going to go? It's going to go that way, isn't it? Okay? And if you're half ball each time, it means that every angle you hit off will be half of the ball. Which is why you don't get many snooker players playing straight balls. The last thing you want to be is straight on a ball, because it means that the ball can either go straight forward or straight back. Whereas if you're at an angle to it, any angle to it, it means you can choose where you can place the cue ball. I hope you get it from this, because it takes a long time to get used to this sort of thing, but by trying to understand it in this way, which is I find quite a simple way of doing it, and quite a simple way of showing it, and what you're looking at there is the contact area from that ball to the blue ball, which really is just, you aim your tip now, you just put your tip adjacent to the edge of the ball, and the ball would make it to the pocket. Okay, it's just a push. You don't have to do anything difficult, you don't have to slam the ball into the pockets to make it pot. Okay, basically it's just straight lines, and you just literally just push through the ball, and then the ball just goes towards the pocket, and the red ball natural angle comes off the other way. And this is how you learn. You don't have to do things hard, don't make it difficult for yourself. Enjoy the game and let it naturally happen, and the more shots you play, the more experience you'll gain from it. So I hope you get it from that now. Don't rush to find your feet, but try and stand on the line of aim with your back leg. If you're left-footed or you're left-handed, you put your left leg straight on the line of aim, and if you're right-footed or right-handed, make sure your right foot is on the line of aim. Before you put your hand on the table, make sure that this is happening. I mean, as an example, you're just looking at the red there, that red there to the corner pocket. Let's say this one here, okay? Okay, that red there, that is a half ball shot from the cue ball. My camera angle being slightly elevated off the table makes the angle slightly off, but that is a half ball shot. There's the line of aim there. So you can either use the ghost ball technique, or you can use what they call back of the ball, or pinpoint. You can call it what you like, doesn't matter. The only thing that really makes contact with that cue ball is your tip. So put a decent tip on the cue, look after the tip so that it doesn't mushroom too much or misshapen into too many different ways, and I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine. Hope you get it from this now anyway, and bye bye from Snooker Tips.